kind of an older guy at that point.
And he lived in Mokena
Oh yeah,
for
I'm
the
sorry.
rest of his life?
Yeah, he did. There was a portion after the war where I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he went up to Wisconsin for a while and worked in, I think, in forestry and like the lumber industry up there for a while. But he spent most of his life in Mokena. He lived in a little shack on Cross Street that is long gone, and he. This is where it gets interesting about John Van Horne, because he was a hard drinking, really tough guy who was not afraid to get into fights with people, fist fights. He was getting in trouble all the time. And there's one that kind of a funny story that just illustrates what kind of guy he was. He had been in one of the saloons in Mokena, and for some reason or other was kicked out of it. And so he had like a grudge against this saloon keeper. So one day some other guys are in this same saloon and they're kind of warming their hands around a kind of like a stove, as it were, you know, burning coal or whatever. And it was the middle of winter. John Van Horne strolls into the saloon and he's wearing really thick mittens. He picked up the stove off the floor and just walked out the door with it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And,
wow.
The same person remembered that back in that time, the saloon keepers on Front Street would have their empty beer barrels just stacked up in front of their saloons while they were waiting, you know, to be taken away and have new ones come in. And John Van Horne would kind of creep from saloon to saloon and sort of pick up the barrels and try to get every last drop out of them that he could.
What a character.
Yeah, he definitely was. He was someone that I'm sure had a lot of stories.
Yeah.
And this gravestone, you'll see these a lot in cemeteries this age. There's a few just like it here in this cemetery. This is a standard government issue gravestone that would have been given to a Union veteran.